Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KitBadger.com, out here for another gear review, and today, talking battle belts. This guy right here, which is the B1 battle belt by Core Essentials. This, like a lot of battle belts, is a two-part system. There's an inner belt as well as the outer belt. This inner belt, it has basically this folded piping along here. You can actually use this to carry and conceal if you would like. And with that, it has their power core too. But it also has this hex part up front also, as well as Velcro. Female Velcro on the outside to made up with the male Velcro of the inside of the outer belt. So with all that said, we're gonna go ahead, put this thing on real quick. Pretty straightforward, and this belt pretty easy to weave through all of your belt loops. And then we have the adjustment tab, which has our male Velcro, so we stretch it over and boom. Now we have our inner belt set up. If we're going to be using this with our battle belt, we want to slide this around until we have this hex portion in the middle. It'll make sense in a second. And then we can go ahead and put our belt on. Figure out where our holster is going to be. Run everything else along. And then this feeds through. You can hear it ratcheting. And then our belt keeper. And there we go. We now have this thing set up. Of course, can strap that if I'm going to. But we have our belt set up and on. This belt has some pretty cool stuff going on between the micro adjustments, 1/4 inch, and the way it interfaces with the inner belt. So with that inner belt, as I showed you, that hex portion up front, it can flex and move. So when you marry this thing up with it, Velcro to Velcro, and it's secure, you can use those 1/4 inch adjustments to basically cinch in and get it as tight as you want to get it. And that flexible portion essentially moves and compresses because otherwise it wouldn't move. You have basically a hula hoop and you're trying to make another hula hoop on top of it. It doesn't work. So having that hex portion where it can actually give, it allows you to get really good and tight with the rest of the belt system. And then it is nice and secure. On this belt right here, to release it, you press this up towards the buckle and it allows you to create that space. And then once you feed it in, get it under that keeper, you just adjust it to however tight you want this. This little feature where this can compress on the inner belt as the outer belt ends up getting smaller and smaller. That's a pretty big deal on a number of different fronts. On the one hand, 1/4 inch increments with respect to sizing up, which depending can be a big deal. On the one hand, hey, maybe I just had a huge meal, so you can let this out. Or for my own part, since I don't live somewhere where it's always the same temperature, or am a fair weather shooter for that matter, I'll be out in all kinds of different clothing and layers. So the ability to have something that you can actually custom fit to whatever you're wearing, that's pretty huge. That's a really big deal, because what's the alternative? Well, traditionally, lots of times Cobra buckles, things like that, which they work good, but you basically have nylon going through them. And consequently, that nylon ends up kind of taking a set. So yeah, you can technically adjust that buckle, but after you have it that way for months, it kind of takes a set in the nylon. So even if you try and cinch it down, it'll just kind of work itself back to where it was. This, you have all of the different clicks and it's not moving once it's there unless you actually use the release on the buckle. When you end up picking up one of these belts, some assembly required. Basically, it comes as a kit. So you're taking the belt and you're figuring out kind of where you want it and how much play you want, because you're ultimately going to end up cutting both the inner belt and basically getting this thing custom fit to you. which brings us to how have I used this core battle belt. Well, I initially used it actually at a carbine class over at Thunder Ranch, running primary mags off of it, and it did great for me there. Really easy to put on, take off, and when you pull it off, your pants aren't falling down because you have inner belts, and yeah, worked out really well. I then used it actually in the, I guess, 2-day competition, or 3 depending, night shoot over there at Red October. Really fun, awesome courses of fire, just altogether really fun shooting competition at Red October, to include the night shoot, the after dark, and this did a really good job for me there. Again, giving me all the things I needed access to, whether it was because I needed spare AK mags or I needed to actually carry water and a blade because of the division I was running in. But yeah, made it really easy to carry all of that stuff. And of course, also doing shooting with a holster on here. Throw your holster on here, whatever else you want, and yeah, get after it out there on the range. Pretty much across the board, this thing has actually done a really good job for me. Is there anything I kind of do or don't? Well, actually, I like most of the things about it. Is there anything I don't really care for about it? I will say this is PALS compatible, like MOLLE, and I don't know, I hate dealing with that stuff. It's a monster, like weaving things through, whether it's this little dump pouch right here, super low profile one. Not fun putting that on there. Stuff like this, tech locks, that's really easy, or for that matter, this True North Concepts for my holster. Again, really easy, clamps itself on there. I just hate weaving things on there. And that's what you will do unless you're using like tech locks or something like this with respect to your holster. If you're in the market for a belt, I would encourage you to check these out. They're pretty cool. That buckle system with those 1/4-inch increments, that's actually really nice. Like, I know it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but whether you have layers on or honestly your body just fluctuates, yeah, like it's pretty nice to have something that's actually sized and secure, like as you click it into place. Pretty cool. As far as, I guess, waist size, anywhere from I think like 24 inches to like 48 inches. Again, you're gonna cut it to fit you. And quick note on that, can't add material. So cut off maybe less than you think you will need rather than more. And it's really easy to be like, oh, you know what? I need to actually remove a little more material. Cut a little bit more, size it until you get kind of that happy medium that you're looking for. Price wise, you're looking at, I think about 140 bucks, a couple different colors. This one being their green. They also have like a kind of tan desert, and yeah, they also have, I think, B1 and B2, this being the B1. Basically, it's in reference to the buckle design, as I understand it. And what else of note? Oh, because of the buckle, which again, it's pretty cool, the way it kind of clicks into those teeth, they actually make a hanger. So instead of having this like piled up, sitting somewhere, you can actually click it onto the hanger and hang it up in your closet, something along those lines. So yeah, pretty unique there too. But overall, honestly, a really solid belt system that has those nice micro adjustments. So something you're looking for, yeah, check them out. And last but not least, if you appreciate the content I make and want to support it, greatly appreciate it. One of the ways is supporting me over on Patreon, little as $1 a month. Helps me go out, create more content for you. And if you have questions for me, we have an active Discord. Happy to answer all of your questions over there. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.